So first of all, the Hibernate util singleton, this is the page that you use to connect to your MySQL database. The Hibernate connection driver class, which com.mysql.jdbc driver, that's what we downloaded. That's in order for your MySQL database to work. And then the next line is a connection URL. That's the connection to your that you need for your local host for your database.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Your username, your root, your username, and then your password. In this case, we don't have a password. We just have for root is the username. And then so that file is just everything that you need to be able to connect to your database. And then user and phone number.java user.java and phone number.java. Those are the two. If you go to your database, in the local host. So the table was created. The test table was created. The test database was created, and then these are the different tables you have.
Okay.
And the user and the phone number are how you store the data. How you get the data from the user to the database. And these, so just some things to keep an eye on are these lines of code, line 15 to 16, the at entity and at table. These are HQL, what's the word, how you, they're like the variables or the attributes that you need, not the attributes, the variables in order to create that table or to create the variable of the data. So in this case, entity at table, this is the framework to create this user table.
Okay.
So the name app user corresponds with your app user table in the database. And then you go down, these are the these are the column or the they were deleted. Those are the rows created. So you have your ID, you have your username, and your password. And so when you later on in the program, you can enter a name, password, an ID number, or I guess it would be auto incremented. So you wouldn't have to worry about that, but username, password, and that will be stored in the database. And so yeah, and the same thing with phone number. The entity phone number is entity table creates the phone number table, and then the class phone number is related to that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is your actual example. So Brother Barney, this is his example. I haven't really changed it yet. But here you can change, create a username and the password, so you can change that to whatever you want. Oops. Set password to
and this is what you use to log in. What's that username and password used for?
This is just an example for how you can store variables, or how you can store data from Java into your database. So not necessarily use, like, this is not how you sign in or anything. This is just an example
something
of how
in the database.
Yeah, something in the database where you can store things or you can pull things from the database.
Okay. I think that's really cool that Hibernate abstracts the use of SQL in there.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool how session.save and just to save an user object and it'll just do it.
Yeah.
I think that is so nice.
Yeah. And it's really nice. Like Hibernate is really nice because it's the same for every database. Like no matter what you do with Oracle, you
use exactly
the same. Because Hibernate uses HQL, which is Hibernate. How you
Query
say
language?
Query language. So like it's its own language, and so you use that, and it's used in. It's not. So you know how in SQL, Oracle and MySQL, the how you write it in SQL could be different.
Yeah.
Just because of the way, but HQL you don't. It's a standard.
Nice.
All database.
Kind of like what he's explaining about JSON today.
Yeah.
Interfaces between them.
And so that's the nice thing about it. But yeah, so if you look, so this in the reading, this is the job application, the Hibernate entities, which are these that. There's a lot more things. But these are the basic things. How you create the data, how you create the tables and store the data. Obviously, your tables and your database has to be set up before. This doesn't necessarily create the tables. This will only connect the Java program and the database and store those things in. And yeah, so those are the Hibernate entities and then the database. So that's pretty much how Hibernate works with Java. Questions?
So that's all it is. It's just the liaison between your app and a database.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever need an app to write to a database, all the databases we're working with, if anyone ever wanted to use that from a real perspective, like someone that doesn't know how to use a database, you need to have Hibernate in there so that app can actually interface with the database. Yeah. So it's used in pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. So
you store a contact in your phone.
So how you would use I don't know, when you on a web page or whatever, how you connect your HTML file to your database, or using PHP or using SQL to connect to your database. It's just the way you interact, how you can store, and you can store usernames, passwords, or dates and things like that. And you can also the user can take that stuff from the database to use it however whatever you need you're using for your app. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just have one complaint, and I think they should have named it.
I know. Hibernate. Yeah. So
ridiculous.
What is it? Hibernate has nothing to do with sleep.
Did they say that the name? Because it looks like it's two things. I don't know. It's just where they came up with it.
I don't know. I don't know. I probably should look that up, but he didn't say anything about it, so I didn't find it super important.
Good to know. Yeah, when you told me that the other day, that gave me a good starting point.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was how an app I don't know came out of sleep. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I thought the exact same thing when you mentioned it the first day. I'm hibernating. What?
Putting the computer to sleep.
Pretty simple.
But yeah, no, it has nothing to do with sleep. It just has to do with the interaction between the Java program and the database. Cool. So, yeah, let's hibernate.
For doing all that.
Took me a while. It's still a work in progress. I know there's a lot more that needs to be entered into Hibernate, but
it's cool to get that into an app, though.
Yeah.
Cool to try to apply.
So, I was thinking of how the project things go a bit.
Yeah.
I guess I was confused about this before, but I'm excited, and yeah, I'm actually mainly more excited because I thought before we all had to write our own examples, but it's really nice that really when you're done with your example with client server, we just write the sandbox code. And that's it. And so,
or you can use the example I used, the original example. if you want.
That's
I
true.
post mine too, but
That's true. I was thinking about doing that because I am really interested in learning about client server sockets and stuff. At the same time, I kind of don't want to take the time to do it either right now, just so we keep going, because I was going to work on that, but then
That's true, huh? That makes sense, because then we can keep going on each technology.
yeah. So then I was thinking, yeah, as soon as
you're saying just get through
just as
disagree.
soon as like Brother Barney tells like you like, yeah, this is perfect and everything, then I feel like that's when we should share code. Like when you have your Hibernate example thing working, and he says, okay, yeah, this is good.
That's a good idea.
Sandbox
Yeah,
it.
That's a good
Then
idea.
share that code with us, because then we know that he's not going to question our code. We can sandbox
That's
it,
true.
and then
Yeah.
we just know that we're good. That just kind of hit me the other day with the HTTP thing. It's like, okay, so he said that this is good, so I know that what I
Yeah.
gave those guys,
Is-
they'll work with it.
That's true.
Mm.
So you're saying like an example that we would give you,
Yeah, so like
or like this our sandbox?
I like the first example you sent us, but then since he's been talking oh yeah, you should add if else statements or something in there and make it run like this or
Mhm.
something.
And that's how you
so
get to
it's like,
disagree. So that's what we should teach.
I'll
you.
just so,
Yeah,
I'll just
so
pull the
after,
sandbox
like,
out of
that's
that and
the-
push it up as an example for you guys, and then
yeah, and then we'll
Sandbox
just
that.
use that, and then we'll sandbox that after he's like, oh good, you have some if else statements, you realize what's going on. Be like, yeah, rather than all of us trying to figure it all out again,
Because then
from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That-
when I go back to him and talk about this and my sandbox, if he's like, okay, that's good, now you can come in with me and stuff like that. After you do the changes that we talked about, then that's when I know that it's good and I can come and talk to you guys. That way, there's no question about whether it's
whether the code's up to par or not,
Yeah.
because we can just use it in
Yeah.
sandbox. And
cool.
okay.
and then I think it'll be nice because like with Hibernate, since it's the hardest one, you'll probably still be on that for a little bit. But
Yeah.
like today, since I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about client server sockets right now. I'm just going to move on, and I was able to get the next thing done.
Yeah.
But not done. I need to talk with Brother Barney about it, but I have an example to show him. And do you guys want to learn a little bit about MVC controllers now? Then?
Yeah.
How much time do we even have left?
We have
14
about 14 minutes till 6.
Okay. So MVC, are you guys familiar with MVC? I know. Great. I'm not going to be on YouTube giving a lecture or something. Do not put me on.
I am starting you a channel. I'm gonna post this here.
I know, right?
Richie's World.
Richie's World.
It's a good title.
Oh man, I'd probably be like the Star Wars kid or something. Or just laughing at me. But have you guys used the MVC model before?
Yes. I
I'll
have.
hype them up.
Yes. Okay, so maybe you can teach me some things, because it's so funny. I get the idea. So you have your model, and you have your view, and you have your controller.
Yeah.
And the idea of model view controller, this is a design pattern. This is how you should, almost like every application is modeled this way. And so, and the big thing about it is like all of these things are in their own worlds. They're not supposed to really be super interconnected with the other two classes, so that you can like easily extend to them without breaking everything. And so like with the view, this is where you see like your buttons and everything, and the model is like where you have all of your data and all the things that they're like touching, and the controller is the way to modify the data. So like when they click this button, the controller's like, oh, okay, when they click this button, I'm going to modify the data over there.
So like from a user perspective, in an app, it would be view, controller, model.
Yes,
Yeah, like in a hierarchical view.
view controller model.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. And and then another good way to think about it, like as like an object, it's like a car. Your dashboard is like your view, your steering wheel and your gear shifts, that's your controller, and the model is like your engine, like going with the changes with the things that you're
Actually
doing.
takes care of what's happening from the controls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess we're recording on this. I'll just share my screen to my. Oh, I guess if you guys want to look over here, I have a code. And I'm gonna not share the chair with my backpack. But let me find it. Okay. So there's a Hibernate example where, okay, my MVC, and I accidentally named two things my MVC, so which one's my real one? Okay, that's the other one. So over here we have these 4 classes. So the car, this is our model class. So in here I'm just describing different things about the car, the make and the model, the year, and then different things that the user would see is like speed and the direction they're going. I don't know. I need to make that probably better, but then down here I just have a bunch of getters and setters to change things in the model, change things about the car. And then when we come over here to the car view, there's just, it's just all from the console, so I don't have anything fancy going on here. But this will print out the car details, and this will print out the things that are actually going on within the car, like the direction and speed. And so here's the car controller, and I feel like this is where most of the magic happens in the MVC pattern is inside the controller. So the controller, it takes the model and it takes the view, and you just pass in those 2 objects. And then in here, I kind of wrap the model things around with a controller wrapper, so I can get the car make, but it gets the make in there. And then like just, it's very simple example, which is why it was so easy to just throw up there together. But then, yeah, here for like the view, we say, okay, when they call update car view details, tell whatever views inside of here to print out the car details and to print out whatever's happening on the dashboard. Or they can just call this and it'll call both of them without them really even having to know. So over here, we have a car, and this is supposed to represent me actually getting the car from somewhere, but I just build it like that. So I'll see what he wants to say about that. But then I build a car view, and I build the car controller passing it our car and the view to the car, and a view for a car model. Sorry, I should say. And so yeah, let's just run this so you guys can see what kind of happened in here. So we print out the details of the car, and then the car's stopped. It's not going anywhere. The speed is nothing. And then we tell it, okay, the car is going forward. It's going 15 miles per hour. Still going forward 30 miles per hour. Then 40, and then, oh, we're taking a right. Now we're going to go 20 miles per hour. But so something like that. And I don't ever touch the car or the view. I just use my controller to change everything about what's going on. Did you guys have any questions?
Did you build that today? All of that?
Well, I pretty much modeled it almost exactly like this little example over here that I got from online. Is they had a student though. They had a student with a name and what role he was on.
Oh, okay. You found an example. Okay.
Yeah, I found an example,
Okay.
and then I pretty much built
that was
almost
intimidating.
exactly
Okay.
like that.
You
Oh,
wrote
that
that
I
from
just like
scratch since you started in class today.
No.
Genius.
That dropped. Good job, Ricky.
No, I'm not
That
that
looks good.
smart.
So, because I've used I've used the MVC before, not with Java. I did it with the PHP. And that also obviously is, you have your view would be your HTML file with certain PHP variables in there, and then your view would be your conditional statements, your controller, your controller would be your conditional statements, like if the user presses this button or anything or types this in, like what happens. And the model would be like the database part, if the user entered this, then the view would send that to the model. The controller would send that to the model will put that into your database and
make the change.
Make the change in your database as well. If you wanted to pull that information, it does the exact same thing. For Java, is that like the same? Is that the same way? Does it work the same way? Does that make sense?
So what was that first part you were saying again?
So
you have the HTML.
So I guess like right here. So in your view, I guess in your model. In your model. Does it also work to be able to? I don't know. I don't really know how to phrase my question. So is this pretty much what he said with the MVC, what the MVC needs to look like?
I haven't talked to him about it.
Okay.
That's
fine.
Yeah, I just got the example off the internet and then I built my own example. I'm going to ask him about it tomorrow.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was just curious because I'm wondering if it's the same with Java where the model in this what is the MVC, like it's modeling. It's a development tool.
It's a design pattern.
Design pattern. Sorry. So I guess is the model as well? Can it work with databases as far as working with Java?
I think the model can work with databases. I don't know for sure, but I'm looking at this, and so we're storing data, but we have things that within itself that give the controller things, or we set things inside here ourselves. So it's like the controller's not doing it. It's actually, I guess, the model itself that does it to itself, but the controller, it just hides that from like the view, I guess.
So are you trying to see if it can interface with the database? Is that
that's kind of pretty much the question.
Rather than like an actual application that you're using getters and setters? Like instead of doing that, you want a database?
I guess so. I guess that's what my question is. Because I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
What would be the point of it if it weren't a database? Like if you couldn't write it to a database, maybe?
Yeah, because see what I'm thinking is, so in the PHP class, in order to sign into a website, the view is what you see like on Facebook or anything. Like you have type your email and password, log in, and then once you hit log in, that login, clicking the login will go to the controller, and then there'll be like a condition statement to say it'll check to see if they actually entered a username. It'll check to see if they actually entered a password, and if those things are true, then it'll take it to the model. And then it'll pull the username and the password and check with the model. The username and the password, it'll check to see if that's an actual username and password in the database. And if it is, then it'll send the session to open up like Facebook, where it's your you see your content, your newsfeed, and stuff like that.
I see what you're saying.
So that's how it would work with as far as website goes. So
it sounded like what you were saying is almost exactly what's going here. It's just like for right here, the car is kind of like our database.
Yeah, and I understand that. I'm just wondering can you do the exact same thing?
Oh, like actually to go straight to the database and do
Exactly.
that. Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, my former question. I'm not very good at articulating my question, so that's fine. No, but okay. That was my question. But sounds good.
Okay, yeah, I think it should be like that, but I don't know. I'm gonna find out more tomorrow.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
Or else I would see some seriously limited capabilities for MVC.
Okay, cool.
And I guess that's kind of like Hibernate a little bit, huh?
Yeah, you're running the
so
database.
exactly.
Yeah.
so pretty much like all of Hibernate is part of the MVC.
Yeah,
pattern.
so it would be.
So Hibernate's kind of like the controller.
Yeah, it'd be the controller, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I would think.
Yeah, so Hibernate's the controller, and the database is your
The
model, and then
the view is
and that
the-
other stuff is the view.
That's what I would think.
Hmm.
So
Cool.
Interesting. We're so smart.
Awesome.
I'll stop you.
Yeah.
you show it to Brother Barney, and it's like, nope.
There's no way I'll make it past 3 minutes.
I know.